Randy
pivot
Van
line,
professing his love right now for DJ Agent Meow.
For those of you watching or listening along at home, the jam line and the pivot line are on the same side of the track as the team benches. Those, of course, opposite the fans section. And the penalty box right between the two team benches. Philly Roller Girls skating in their blue uniforms with black trim. Rose City's Wheels of Justice in their purple uniforms with silver trim.
So I'm kind of interested to see what these teams are going to come out with. I am really hoping both of them play some strong D and lock down those jammers. But I think they have more potential to score high in this game, and I think it would benefit both teams to keep this score low.
Well, I can say that I agree with the pregame analysis about the fact that Scald Eagle probably not going to score 111 points by halftime.
And if she does, well, that should be the tail of the tape right there.
It means I won't be hungry anymore after eating those words.
Well, there is definitely some talk going on down there. I think they want to make sure they've got everything in order before these teams take the track. Wonder if there is a point of contention between the two.
I thought we were just waiting for the early game to get over so we can move the broadcast to this one.
Yeah, we have seen some really good games. Actually, from what I understand, track number 3 has had some really close games. There was a men's game there that was decided by a few points in the last jam.
Was that the drive-by Treasure Valley?
Drive-by Belligerence.
Oh, that's
game.
what it was, yeah.
And yeah, that came down to a final jam. There was a penalty on the track. The jammer got sent to the penalty box, and the scoring happened. There has been some great games all through here. We just got done seeing the Axles of Annihilation really lay into the Philly team, the B team for the Philadelphia. There was some great scoring, some great defense played. You see a lot of good talent from both teams that were on that roster.
We are still waiting for the referees to get this one going.
Now, as we saw earlier, Rose City came in and they played and racked up over 400 points in that first jam, or in that first game. This is their second game of the day. Wondering how this is all going to play out. I know Philly has also played, but Rose City, they've had some time to rest, and you know sometimes things can cramp up. They're of course in great shape up here in the Portland area, but you know it's nice to see what's going to happen. You know, this Big O tournament is a lot of great people have come down here and volunteered their time. We have under 1,365 volunteers this weekend. Those do include 800 skaters. We've got 115 refs and NSOs. We got 25 guys running around here with cameras taking pictures.
I went over and talked to the folks working the penalty box, and it appears that this is the coaches and captains meeting that was unable to happen earlier. So this is the meeting where the head referee talks to the coaches and the captains for each team, for those of you who haven't been through this before. They establish their benches, whether or not they're going to trade benches at the half, any questions they may have for the referee, crew, that kind of thing. That's what they're covering now. Maybe this is just a sneaky way to build more anticipation for this bout.
That or a sneaky way to sell more concessions while everybody was waiting. But it looks like they have taken the track. Scald Eagle once again out there with a jammer star for Rose City. And I believe it was Vanessa Wftda Sights for Philly, if I'm seeing that correctly. They have us at an unusual angle up here in the announcer's booth. We're facing them on the track, so you can neither see their numbers nor their name. And half the time, they hide behind the pack.
I'll be your monkey rock. I was thinking that too. What's out of here? What's going on? Oh, this is an excellent dramatic start. Thank you.
Well, would you believe it or not, we're looking for a wireless microphone.
We have the other microphone, the wireless mic. We have a wireless mic. I have not seen it anywhere else.
You might be able to hear the conversation going on behind us. They are indeed looking for a wireless microphone.
A wireless microphone.
A wireless microphone.
Of all the things we have to look for. All right, I believe they're just going to go ahead and start without the wireless mic. Can you believe the things, mic checks, that we have to start with?
How did it come to this?
I know. Slippery as a hill we slide down.
Oh, boy.
Well, the Wheels of Justice fans are over there cheering away right now, trying to get their team pumped up.
Yesterday, so maybe it's just all carrying over today.
Well, I want to know, who needs justice when you've got independence?
All right, here we go.
And the Phillies crowd, they're also over there cheering away. I have a feeling this is going to be a loud game, if anything.
Again, that's Vanessa Wftda Sights jamming for Philly. Scald Eagle for Rose City.
And Scald Eagle finally broke out of the pack as Vanessa Wftda is out first.
Scald Eagle giving up less than half a track to Wftda. Woj blockers skating up front.
Still Devour on that inside leg. Vanessa Wftda comes and gives her a bump. She did pick up a few points. Looks like 3 points. According to that ref, 0 for Scald Eagle. So just like that, Philly jumps out, takes a 3-point lead.
Quick pack, quick jam to start. Lauren Much on the jam line for Rose City.
Okay, nice little jumping point set, 3 points on the board.
Looks like a 4-on-4 pack. Everything nice and smooth on the inside. The jam whistle is on. Nice sweep to the inside. They take Much all the way to the out and back.
That is Brazilian Nut jamming for the Liberty Bells.
Brazilian Muppet up against Liquor and Split. She could not stop her, and Much still stuck in the pack.
Philadelphia with first 2 lead jammers in this jam.
Nice tight wall by Rose City as Brazilian Nut runs up. She's trying to take that inside line. She could not take it. Got pushed out of bounds. 1 point being picked up by Philadelphia. I really like how Philly's coming out here. They're hitting it strong. They're letting Rose City know they are here to play.
Rose City, of course, sending their message earlier in their win against Kansas City. Clam Jammer on the jam line for Philadelphia. Scald Eagle for the Wheels of Justice.
2 blockers for Philly right now sitting in that penalty box, so an advantage for Scald Eagle. She runs up that apex, and she's out as lead jammer.
Nice call by the Wheels of Justice bench to put Scald Eagle in while Philadelphia was down blockers.
I believe a low block being called on Blast Unicorn, but Scald Eagle around the outside. She is in a power jam, and that's 5 points on the track.
Jamie True and Chestnut looking to play offense for Scald Eagle. Scald goes to the outside, 5-point scoring pass.
She makes it look easy. Well, it looks like a 3-on-3 pack right now. Scald decides to go right through the middle. Philly right now just trying to contain her.
Chestnut providing the offense that gives Scald that 5-point pass.
Scald with a nice little bump, and the offense actually right there was what made that happen. Rose City swept in, clamped him in the middle, and shook him up, making it easy for her to get through.
True went from playing an inactive offense to a screen offense, and Scald through the pack again, 5 points.
Mercy, the last line of defense up against Clam Jammer. Clam Jammer served her time. She's trying to get through. Mercy has to let her go, and she's on her initial pass.
True in the blast unicorn, giving offense to Scald Eagle. Scald Eagle picking up a back block, power jam Philadelphia.
And Clam Jammer ran through like it ain't no big deal, picking up 5 points on that pass.
Wheels of Justice blockers at the front of the pack. Clam Jammer jumping between turns 1 and 2. She clears for 5 points.
She did. She actually, yep, she did. She cleared that. Heard a whistle, but it was actually on Jessica Chestnuts. Mercy got a hold of her with the thigh, escorted her right out of bounds on that inside line.
True trying to recycle back further, stopped short by number 609, Hot Rod Hussey.
Clam Jammer does get through for 4 points. Interesting. Now we've got some scoring happening. Rose City at 27. Philadelphia with 18 of their own. 25 minutes and 55 seconds left in this game.
All 27 points so far coming courtesy of Scald Eagle on the Rose City side of the board. Clam Jammer 14 so far for Philly.
Yeah, when Scald Eagle gets out there and starts scoring, she scores many, many times in a row.
Wftda on the jam line for Philadelphia.
And Jessica Shipley taking a hit there, ends up on the deck from Wftda.
Scald Eagle out of the penalty box, traverses the pack. She is clear on her initial pass.
That was absolutely beautiful offense right there. There came in, nice big sweep. I believe that was Ginger Vitus, swept in, opened up the hole, and got her jammer through. 4 points being picked up by Wftda.
Shipley very close to picking up an out-of-play penalty, though, pulled back at just the last moment.
Lauren Much taking the star for her team right now, getting out there.
Rose City sticking with a 2-jammer rotation now as Tarantula takes to the jam line for Philadelphia.
Much running up that outside line. That was an excellent juke. She made a little move like she was going to cut in and ran right up that line. Tarantula stuck, got escorted out by Rodriguez, and they're taking her way back to the pivot line.
Well, that was also Moffett and Penny Dreadful working together to knock her out.
And I believe that it's a 5 point. Yeah, they're showing 4 up there, but Lauren Much just ran right through there and quickly has made a pass. Oh, she just got called on a back block.
Rose City having a hard time with jammer penalties right now, and Philly Roller Girls looking to take advantage.
Well, that's one of the keys of the game. You got to keep those jammers on the track if you plan on scoring. And right now, Tarantula trying just to muscle her way through up top. And she can't seem to get through. Oh, but she got a penalty.
Forearm penalty going to send Tarantula to the box. Lauren Much released.
Let's see what Rose City does. Philly lines up in the back, and they're trying to pinch them in the middle. Lauren Much not able to get through. She's taking some wallops on that outside. Finally decides to go back to the end.
Lauren Much finally pushes out. That is a 5-point scoring pass, Rose City.
Rose City taking that jammer back. Tarantula's going to start back at turn number 2. Mercy tried to get a hold of her. Penny tried to get a hold of her, and Tarantula is through.
Rose City blockers having a hard time with containment against Tarantula right now. Lauren Much fighting against a back wall of Philadelphia blockers.
Could be arachnophobia. Lauren Much being taken way back in the straightaway. She tries to go around the outside, throws a huge hit up there in the corner, but still unable to breach that pack. She does pick up 5 points of her own to 3 on Philadelphia.
King, very interesting. We're starting to see more physical play from both of these blocking contingents already this bout, and we are less than 10 minutes into the first half.
I expected this to be a pretty high intensity game, and I don't expect either team to really run away with it.
On the jam line, we've got Brazilian Nut for the Liberty Bells, Scald Eagle for the Wheels of Justice.
Both jammers still stuck in the back of that pack. They're going outside to in and back again. It looks like, well, both of them just locked up in that. Scald Eagle getting taken out and taken back past the pivot line.
Ripley, a nice anchor on that inside line for Portland, does a nice job bridging out as well.
Heidi Go Seek also drops back. Scald Eagle finally gets out, but man, she really had to work to get out of that pack.
And Philadelphia doing exactly what they needed to do, try and contain or minimize the damage Scald Eagle can do.
Well, she creeps up, skates backwards, and she did pick up one. Brazilian Nut.
So right now we've got Rose City at 41.
Rose with a 15-point lead as we've got a little over 21 minutes on the clock. Jessica Rodriguez on the jam line for the first time this bout for Rose City.
Now Jessica's kind of been around the league for a while, and she is one of those explosive skaters. You never know quite what to expect with her.
Speaking of explosive, that is Vanessa Seitz through the pack, lead jammer Liberty Bells.
Yeah, and she is a very explosive. Jessica Rodriguez finally gets out of that pack, and she's off to the races.
Chestnuts and Seitz going at one another at the front of the pack.
Well, she called it off right at the right time. She did pick up 3 points for her effort. That's how they creep right back in here. We got a score of 41-29. 20 minutes left on this clock. I believe that's Lauren Much with a star on her helmet once again. Clam Jammer, the other jammer out there with the star on her helmet. Both jammers engage the back of that wall. Nice defense by both teams. Lauren Much around the apex. She's your lead jammer.
And Frankenstein putting a last-second hit on Lauren Much. Not enough to keep her in the pack. Mercy trying to work over Clam Jammer as Moffitt sent to the penalty box.
Lauren Much around the outside. She jumps to the end, and she picks up another 5 points for Rose City. Finally, Clam Jammer out of there. Lauren Much looking to her bench, trying to decide what they've got to do. And they have signaled, go ahead and call it. She does, right as Clam Jammer engages the back of that pack.
Heidi Go Seek, who'd been knocked to the inside of turn one, was watching to make sure that she re-entered and stayed in front of the Philadelphia jammer to protect her point there.
Yep. So far, we were talking about the penalties and how they can rack up. Philadelphia has had 5 power jams so far in this game. Rose City has had 3 of their own, but that could also lead to why this game is as close as it is.
Scald Eagle jamming once again for the Wheels of Justice.
So what she's doing here is she's got a blocker in the box. She knocked that jammer out. She's taking her back, and she's burning that time off the clock.
Well, Scald Eagle dragged her all the way back to turn 2, lost her footing, and now the jammers attacking the pack on their initial pass.
Penny Dreadful picking up a penalty, I think.
Track cut being called on Vanessa Seitz.
All good things right now for Rose City if that's what they're looking at.
Wax Poetic following her to the penalty box.
Oh, and Shipley, Jessica Shipley, doing a fine job offensively. Took that line, folded it in on itself, and made it real easy for Scald Eagle.
The other nice thing is she drug heavy flow all the way to the back of the pack, which made an easier 5-point scoring pass for Scald Eagle.
That's right. Scald Eagle's once again on one of her scoring crazes. She will just go and go like an Energizer Bunny out there.
Active offense by Moffitt and True. Scald Eagle through 5-point scoring pass, Rose City.
Just fantastic roller derby.
Rose City, their eye on the prize. They know that jammer's coming. They are lighting up their defense and getting ready.
Scald pushes through the wall, 5 more points for the Wheels of Justice. Shipley up front trying to stop Sights.
No, Sights way too strong for that. She came tearing through that wall of defense and said, nah, get out the way.
Scald Eagle at the end of that jam shrugged off a very hard hit by Heavy Flow, called off the jam.
17 minutes left in this game. We got a score of 73-29, courtesy of Scald Eagles scoring frenzies.
Scald Eagle unofficially 50 points so far this bout. Lauren Much on the jam line for Rose City. Opposite
a jammer for Philly.
At jammer number 18, Vanessa Sights.
That last jam, Scald Eagle scored another 23 points. Both jammers out. Philadelphia's got the lead jammer status, so Lauren Much trying to make a foot race, though, to the back of that pack.
Sights trying to play a little bit of jammer on jammer defense. Lauren Much shrugging it off.
Wow.
2 points, Wheels of Justice. 1 point, Liberty Bells.
That was a photo finish right there. I love jams like that.
Those are the best kind of jams.
Absolutely. That just plays into your foot speed, and it's a race to the back. Nice, strong play by both teams.
Scald Eagle returns to the jam line opposite Clam Jammer. Clam Jammer 14 points so far this bout.
Right now, Philadelphia short a blocker on the track. Scald Eagle capitalizes on that, and I've said it so many times, you have to hold that line. You cannot let a jammer like Scald Eagle run up it.
Clam Jammer trying to fight her way on the inside through Gaither and goes Seek. Meanwhile, Scald Eagle round the outside, 5-point scoring pass.
Finally, oh, nope, never mind. I was gonna say she finally got out of that pack, but waiting for it was Blast Unicorn, but that's okay. 4 more points for Scald Eagle. She goes ahead and calls it off.
Rose extending their lead now to 55 points.
And just like I thought, the coach for Philadelphia must be calling himself a little bit of a timeout. It's a good timeout right here. You want to rally the troops, you want to sit them down and come up with a better game plan, because what you're doing right now is not working for you.
Scald Eagle, again, these stats unofficial, 2 jams in which she scored more than 20 points, a 23-point jam early in the bout and a recent 27-point jam. Clam Jammer, a 14-point jam to her credit for the Liberty Bells.
Well, they've got out there Jessica Liquor and Split. She's going to be right now. Jessica Rodriguez out there. And they're going to put another media squad with Chestnuts, French Tickler, J.K. Rowland, and Scylla Devour.
J.K. Rowland going by her given name, Jamie True, this season.
That's right. Sometimes you get so used to calling them by a name for year after year. So far, we have a really tight bout when it comes to lead jammers. Philly has 6 and Rose has 5. The difference is Scald Eagle has 59 points, Clam Jammer has 14.
Each team with 2 power jams so far this bout.
They call it the Big O for a reason.
Sights once again taking the line. I like watching her jam. She jams almost like a blocker.
Rodriguez not afraid to jam like a blocker either for the Wheels of Justice. Slow pack as it just now enters turn 1.
Oh, she scooted on by, and J.K. Rowland could not contain her.
Scylla Devour headed to the penalty box for Rose City. Rodriguez still trying to find her way through that pack on her initial pass.
Sights hit that wall and busted 2 players off.
Forearm penalty on Rodriguez. Power jam, Liberty Bells.
Rose City, nice little time in it, or triangle, I should say, out there. Not letting the blocker free. Jessica Chestnut's trying to stop her. She slowed her down enough, but that's 5 points picked up by Sights.
Chestnut makes a jammer work for every inch of the track they get.
She hits that wall with intention to hurt. muscles her way right on through. 5 easy points for Seitz.
Now the Philadelphia blockers stretching out backward as Scylla Devour leaving the penalty box for the Wheels of Justice. Philly trying to keep the blockers separated, but that allows Scylla to play offense in the backfield for Rodriguez.
And she did a nice job. She picked one off.
And Rodriguez called for the track cut. Nice recycling by the Philly blockers. Rodriguez still arguing with the referees on that call.
Yep, she took the short way to the penalty box right through the middle of those refs and discussed what she thought the penalty should be.
You know, King, in all of my time coaching and announcing roller derby, I don't ever think that I've seen a player yelling at the referees change a call on their way back to the bench or the penalty box.
I don't think I've ever seen that either. Nice work on the inside. Unfortunately, Philly's jammer, I think that's Nuts.
No, that's
Brazilian Nuts.
Yep.
She had an open line on that inside, but didn't see it, had to do it the hard way. Either way, she's your lead jammer.
Offense coming in from the back via Michelle Castro.
3 blockers up front right now, and Nut just pushing it out front.
Couple of out-of-play penalties being assessed there.
I just
Maybe
think
just
2
one.
of them saw the same thing. Heidi goes Seek heading to the penalty box.
Brazilian Nut now again having to work against Gaither, Shipley, and Mercy. Rodriguez trying to find her way through the pack on her initial pass.
Penalty being called, looks like a forearm out there.
Michelle Castro.
Yep, she's heading to the penalty box. Nut in the back right now. Oh, Nacho! Ooh, Nacho swinging a miss. Nut jumped inside, I believe.
Somebody's being assessed a high block.
Yeah, it was Mercy. And it was kind of an incidental contact, but it don't matter. There was a nice clubbing from a shoulder right there by Mercy.
It is a battle out there on the track right now. Rodriguez still fighting against the Philadelphia blockers, and Brazilian Nut playing a little bit of jammer defense as well.
Rodriguez finally making her way through. She's not the lead jammer. She's got some track to make up. 5 points being scored by Brazilian Nut.
Tarantula just a force on defense in that jam for the Liberty Bells.
In a game like that, you gotta have. There's some key players. Mercy's a good player for Rose City. Scylla Devour, another one. JK is a great utility player, and they're the ones that make things happen or stop the play when you gotta have it. Tarantula, fantastic job out there that last play, locking down the blocking war, and stopping that jammer.
Well, no, Brazilian Nut only has 8 points to her credit. She is 4 for 4 in getting lead jammer. Lauren Much, jammer for Wheels of Justice out of the pack, lead jammer.
Nice wall being set up, little 3 wall. They are not letting that jammer get through easily.
Clam jammer fighting against Scylla Devour, Chestnut, and Moffat. She breaks through and is clear on her initial pass, King.
Oh, and Mercy giving all the help in the world to Lauren Much. It was just...
That was a beautiful mama whale. Mercy basically letting Lauren Much ride right behind her, providing an excellent screen. You saw Mercy go to the left, and as she went to the left, got the blocker to bite on that. Lauren Much ducks to the right and clears the pack.
It was perfect, absolutely.
Wftda on the line, opposite Scald Eagle.
I like this matchup in the Jammer War, I really do.
Scald Eagle, quick work of the pack, lead jammer, Rose City.
Yeah, but hot on her tail. Every time they put her out there, Wftda jumps out too quickly. It really slows down the opportunities.
Scald Eagle goes from the outside to the inside.
There was a huge hit on Jessica Shipley. She is face down on track in turn number 2. They're giving her a hand up, but yeah, she went the wrong way, almost like a scorpion.
Able to skate back to the bench on her own, always good to see. On the jam line, number 7, Clam Jammer, opposite number 77, Lauren Much.
Nice slow jam to get this started. Everybody's nice and tight up in there. And Lauren Much finds a lot of days. She's your lead jammer.
Clam Jammer right
Clam Jammer goes to the outside, able to find her way through the pack. She's clear on her initial and giving up about a half track.
You know, most of the time they follow the action of the jammers. The action is not with the jammers right now. The action is inside that pack. Everybody is battling for position, and battling is the right word for that. They are hitting and smashing and guiding and getting everybody out of bounds. They want position, and nobody wants to give.
Well, and it's another interesting effect of the 30-second penalty, seeing the shift in gameplay like we have. Lead jammer 3 times in a row. Rose City looking for 4. They send out Scald Eagle.
And look at that. There is Wftda right up there with her.
I'm not going to get tired of this matchup all evening.
Nope.
Scylla almost caught napping on the inside there. Wftda, though.
I believe it's Devoid Mercy. Is that who I'm seeing? Oh, 527. My bad. Heavy flow. Took Scald Eagle out for a little while, but it wasn't enough to slow it down. And Scald Eagle is your lead jammer.
Wftda clear on her initial pass, giving up a little less than half a track to Scald, who made quick work of the pack, but a track cut penalty gives the Liberty Bells a power jam.
And this is the opportunity they need right now. They got to get their jammer out. They got to get her scoring. Right now, they're only down 47 points, but it's these kind of plays that get you back in a game.
Well, and you've got French Tickler, or Megan Moffat, excuse me, Mercy, Scylla Devour, and Sarah Gaither out there as your blockers for Portland.
This is pretty much burning this penalty to the ground. And I gotta say, you know, I've been around the league a little while, and this is a couple players I would not want to have to go up against. And she does it. Strong, strong, strong play.
No, and that was excellent right there. Hung back for a second, regained herself, took another run at that, and Wftda able to push herself through the pack.
Scald Eagle came back in the game, went around the outside. That's 4 more points.
Wftda gonna have to go through that gauntlet of blockers again, meeting Moffat in the backfield as Scald Eagle coming around on a scoring pass.
Oh, and there's a pile up in the apex.
Scald Eagle takes advantage. She clears the pack for 4 points.
I like the no call down there. That was just incidental contact. Everybody hit the deck and everybody's okay.
Scald Eagle around the outside, 5-point scoring pass, Rose City.
Lord Almighty, the defense back there. Wftda really had breathing hard, putting her hands on her hips. They shut her down. That's not something everybody can say they can do against Wftda.
No, impressive display of defense by the wheels of justice. Brazilian Nut back out on the jam line for the Liberty Bells. Opposite the Blast Unicorn, lining up to jam the first time this bout, King.
I like seeing Blast Unicorn jam. She's got a real smooth maneuver. Look at her go inside to out. She went around the outside. She's your lead jammer.
Meanwhile, True was doing a good job holding up Brazilian Nut. Brazilian Nut, though, clears the inside.
What they just did there was one of the keys of the game. As soon as that other jammer gets out, you've got to open it up, and they did it. They opened it up, got their jammer out, stopped the bleed. 1 score pass for Blast Unicorn, and they picked up a point in the process.
Yep, only a 3-point differential for Rose City.
Well, looks like there is a 14-6 with power jams advantage to Rose City right now.
I believe that's Russian Bayou jamming for the first time this bout for the Independence Dolls, opposite Lauren Much, who's through the pack lead jammer.
Once again, they got that tight wall. Oh, but the hitting has started again. Philly just vicious with their offense, but they've got to change faster back to the defense. Lauren Much scooted through there way too easily.
Chestnut getting in a mix-up with Russian Bayou. Russian Bayou with the penalty, though. Power jam Rose City. Chestnut now being sent off, as is Lauren Much. Lauren with the forearm penalty.
Yep. And that's going to be a change of the guard in that penalty box, because as you know, roller derby's no fun without a jammer.
So that puts Russian Bayou back onto the track.
And we see Russian Bayou out of the penalty box, now attacking the pack.
Oh, that was nice. Bounced off, Mercy kept right on going. She's out of that pack.
Back onto the track is Much as well.
Lauren Much now out of the penalty box, working against the 3 wall at the front of the pack. It looks like a multiplayer block being assessed down in turn 3.
Both jammers right now having a real hard time getting out of the pack. Defense really playing a part in here.
Rodriguez recycling Russian Bayou. Chestnut now out of the penalty box.
Nice recycling. Every time a player got out, oh, Mercy got a hold. Every time a player gets out, somebody jumps right back up, tries to take her back out themselves.
Rodriguez not happy with herself, did not finish that hit against Russian Bayou, who clears on a 4-point scoring pass.
Nice tight wall being laid down. Rodriguez, one of the last lines of defense. Chestnuts also standing up there. They come together and the whistle blows.
A nice job by Tarantula and Michelle Castro in the back of the pack against Lauren Much near the end of that jam.
And there she is again, Scald Eagle, once again with a star on her helmet. We've got all 4 blockers, 2 jammers, nobody in the penalty box, and 5 seconds on the clock. Well, according to the ref.
Looks like Clam Jammer jamming for Liberty Bells. Scald Eagle trying to get around Gingivitis. Nice lockdown to that outside rail.
And she does. Just like that, she is out.
Clam Jammer now having to contend with Gaither and Shipley at the front of the pack. Clam Jammer clears on her initial pass.
Scald Eagle weaving in between them like they're pylons. Gets through, calls it off as the opposing jammer, Clam Jammer I should say, comes flying in there. No points.
Scald Eagle calling that off while getting a hug from Devoid of Mercy.
Well, you know, hugs are nice in Derby too.
We don't have a penalty against that.
No. And there shouldn't be. There should be more hugs in Derby.
Blast Unicorn on the jam line for the Wheels of Justice.
Scylla Devour right now sitting in the penalty box. Blast Unicorn getting taken out of bounds. Oh, and she gets a cut. That was a beautiful textbook play. Person on the outside pushed the blocker in, took a step back, drew that cut.
Brazilian Nut getting a great bit of offense from Heavy Flow to help her clear on that initial pass. 4-3 pack advantage in favor of the Liberty Bells.
Talk about body control. She slid all the way to the rope to get those 5 points. Did not go out of bounds though, and she's back in that pack to score again.
Liberty Bells letting Scylla Devour out of the penalty box rejoin the wall. Heavy Flow up for some offense. But it's Brazilian Nut clearing the pack on her own 5-point scoring pass.
Scylla Devour playing a little bit of offense, help Blast Unicorn get out of that pack. And that right there is the first lead jam for Philadelphia in the last 8 jams. This is something they have to do now, is buckle down and start figuring out how to get out front first. We got 30 seconds left in this half. 128 Rose City, 77 to Philadelphia. This game is not over. As you know, in Derby, you can score and you can score fast. All they got to do is control the pack by getting lead jammer and take advantage of any penalties they can rack up against Rose City.
And this will likely be the last jam of the half. Teflon Donna jamming for the Liberty Bells.
And just like that, there is a penalty going against Lauren Much, picking up a back block, and she's got to spend some time in that penalty box.
Captain Teflon Donna, lead jammer, Liberty Bells.
Everybody nice and slow. They're playing that passive offense, and that's going to make their jammer really have to work against that pack.
Ripley anchors herself as part of the bridge for Wheels of Justice. Heidi goes Seek picking up a penalty, as is Teflon Donna.
All right. So there's a penalty right there. That's going to be a change of the guard. Lauren Much, I do believe, served her time. And she's coming out in a scoring position, I believe.
Lauren Much getting some offense from Ripley, and then Rodriguez still fighting her way through the pack. She is now clear. That was her initial pass.
There is a nice little plaque, and offense has started. They did. They cleaned it up, opened up a hole. She went outside to in this time to pick up 4 points.
Exodus from the penalty box. Heidi goes seek, and Teflon Donna rejoining the action on the track.
Yep, she was back there to meet her. She escorted her right into that wall, and that's as far as she's gotten so far.
Lauren Much being dragged back by Gingivitis.
Now there's the problem with that. What they did was they took her all the way back, and then they didn't reform fast enough to stop her. All she had to do was skate between those players. So there's a point to where you need to not go back so far.
That was a 5-point scoring pass for the Liberty Bells, 4 for the Wheels of Justice.
And it comes to an end.
No points for either jammer on that last scoring pass.
And it looks like before we go into halftime, unless they're going to assess any more points, we've got a score of 136 to 82. We have seen just exactly this. A good, close game so far. Close enough that it's still anyone's game going into the second half.
Well, before we kick this to halftime, let's make sure there was not an official review at the end of the half.
They just like to do that for attention.
Rock out there talking to Philadelphia's coach. Rose City's coach also at the center of the track.
And Texas is out there warming up. That ought to be a good game coming up a little bit later this afternoon.
We're still waiting to make sure this is not an official review. We haven't gotten the signal, and the teams have gone back for halftime. I think we're just going to call this the half, and if there is an official review, we will update you once halftime is over. And we're back. King and I are arguing over a pen, because, you know, that's how we roll. Rose City with a 136 to 82 lead over the Philly Liberty Bells.
In my defense, it was my fancy First Tech work pen.
It's been a long day already. Apparently we're getting a rummy up here on the dais.
So far we've had a one heck of a good first half for both of these teams.
Liberty Bells going 6 jammers deep into their jammer rotation. Teflon Donna, as you saw, the last jam of the first half. Brazilian Nut, Clam Jammer, Russian Bayou, Tarantula, and Vanessa Seitz. 22 points for Brazilian Nut, 31 for Vanessa Seitz, and 14 for Clam Jammer to lead the Liberty Bells.
Now, they've only used 4 of the players for Rose City as jammers in the first half. You saw Lauren Much, Scald Eagle, Blast Unicorn, and Jessica Rodriguez. Lauren Much had 50 points in that first half, and that was off of 8 jams. And Scald Eagle had 9 jams with a grand total of 82 points. If you look at that, that is the tail of the tape. And, you know, they talked about this in the first half. Keys of the game contain Scald Eagle. Philadelphia has to give her more attention. They can handle shutting down everybody else. For instance, Rodriguez, she's jammed 3 times. She has nothing on the board for him yet. So if they can contain Scald Eagle, they can pull this off.
Brazilian Nut 5 for 6, picking up lead jammer in the first half for Philadelphia. That's 83%. Scald Eagle 6 for 9. That's 67%. Lauren Much 5 for 8. That's 63%.
All right, we have a shout out here.
So right now, the penalty war is dang there, neck and neck. Rose City with 17 penalties to Philadelphia's 16 penalties. Rose City's had 12 lead jammers. Philly's had 10 lead jammers. Rose City's had 4 power jams. Philly's had 6. So when it comes down to the nuts and bolts of it, it's really a pretty close game. Like I said, they just need to start containing the jammers for Rose City, and Philly can totally pull this off and walk away with it.
Well, we are close to getting the second half underway. Head referee Eric Rock over again in the penalty box section, addressing the coach for both teams and Captain Teflon Donna, who happens to be over there. Looks like Captain Mercy for Rose City coming over to join the conversation.
One of the nobody in really heavy penalty problems as of yet. Castro for Philly only has 4, and Lauren Much Mayhem, she's got 3. So far the penalty's staying low. Nothing's a contributing factor as of yet, but we still got 30 minutes of derby to play.
Teflon Donna lined up on the jam line for the Liberty Bells opposite Scald Eagle. Let's get this second half underway, King.
And I like this. They're playing up here on the pivot line the way the gods intended derby to be played. Well, the suspense is killing me here. There, Mike checks. And the whistle blows. These jammers are released, and they engage their respective walls.
Rose City with the 4-wall in the front. Philadelphia started this jam with the 4-wall and back. Scald Eagle trying to push out.
And she does. She's got 1 player left to beat, and holy smokes, she's a lead jammer.
Syl Devour forcing Teflon Donna back.
Syl Devour picking up a low block in the process, and she's headed to the penalty box.
Shipley almost an unwitting screen there for Scald Eagle.
Scald Eagle face down on the turn number 4. She's headed back as they've dragged her all the way back halfway across the track.
Teflon Donna clearing on her initial pass. Scald Eagle working on a scoring pass for Rose City.
Hey, Scald Eagle did not like it. She came in there, started smacking people around to pick up her 5 points.
Teflon Donna not able to sneak one onto the board at the end of that jam. 5-0.
Syl Devour still sitting in the penalty box. That's going to give a slight pack advantage to Philadelphia. There's only 3 blockers right now on the track for Rose City.
Brazilian nut jamming for the Liberty Bells. Lauren Much for Rose City.
This jam has started. Lauren Much, just blasted her way through. Running out to try and meet her, was rushing by you. Could not contain her though.
Brazilian nut gets by Chestnut on the inside of turn 2. She's clear on her initial.
And Laura Much tried to pick up some points. Nothing for either team. Ref solidarity.
No score in that jam. So we're going to reset and do it all over again.
And what are they doing? Are they on the pivot line?
That is 2 out of 3 jams. What? 2 out of the last 3 jams.
You know, I like that a lot better. It gives the opportunity for the jammer to get some speed, get some momentum. They hit that pack with a little bit of oomph, just like that. And it benefited Sights.
Sights found a rail on the inside. Unfortunately, used a back block to break free.
Sorry, Philly fans. I was going to go nuts for you. V-Diva hit that like it was all hers, and they called a penalty back block on her.
So Scald Eagle, now your lead jammer, makes quick work of the pack on the outside of turn 3. 5-point scoring pass.
Oh, they left that inside line open, and I'm talking wide open. There was at least 2 bodies that could have fit through that hole.
True to the penalty box for a direction of play penalty. Eagle to the outside again, cuts back to the inside, stays in bounds. 5-point scoring pass.
She got punished though on that walkthrough. They did a couple big hits up on her. And Sights, she came in with a head full of intention, and she is through.
Seitz lowered her shoulder, took the hit for Mercy, and escaped the pack. Scald Eagle clears the pack for 4 points and then calls off the jam.
That's a good call off. She spent a little bit of time out there. She got her JK Rowland, who's sitting in the box standing, burned a little bit of time and called it off before the other jammer hit the back of that pack. We got a score 160 to 82, 26 minutes, 26 seconds left in this game.
Lauren Much on the jam line opposite Brazilian Nut.
Lauren Much really trying to work that inside. Oh, they escorted her out of bounds. And she's going to go back to the beginning, right along with Ripley, who got taken out with her.
Meanwhile, Brazilian Nut, already your lead jammer, already working on a scoring pass. Penny Dreadful, late to see it.
That was great.
And Shipley,
you know better.
Did not get assessed a penalty, apparently. Direction of play, now she did get assessed a penalty. Lauren Much clear of the pack.
You know, that's almost insult to injury because she was skating backwards and got leveled. And now she's headed to the penalty box. This jam comes to an end. And they're not putting hands up for me yet. 2 points for Philadelphia picked up on that last pass.
Scald Eagle and Teflon Donna on the jam line.
One goes to the box, sitting in the box, and we have a 4-on-3 to start with.
Little jammer defense or offense in the back, if you want to call it like that. Oh, and just like that, you see, that's why I like that. Scald Eagle went around the outside after playing a little bit of offense, and she's your lead jammer.
Teflon Donna fighting against Chestnut and Moffitt at the front of the pack. Moffitt trying to ride Teflon Donna out of bounds, does recycle her to the back.
French Sickler picking a direction of play penalty up. She's headed to the penalty box. Teflon Donna out of the pack.
Teflon Donna sliding off the hit from Scylla Devour to clear the pack on that initial pass.
Scald Eagle calls it off as Teflon Donna come barreling down on it. She picked up 3 points on that pass. It looks like nothing picked up for Rose City. Looks like there's only going to be 2 blockers out there for Rose City and 3 for Philadelphia. Sights on the line. Wftda.
Opposite Lauren Much, Wftda sets up on the inside rail, immediately going after Mercy.
She takes Much out of bounds and she runs around that minuscule defense. She's your lead jammer.
Rodriguez playing some offense for Much, does pick up a penalty in the meantime. Lauren Much clears the pack on her initial pass. 4-point scoring pass so far for Seitz. She's looking for seconds.
Oh, Shipley tried to open a hole, but that hole closed way too fast.
Seitz does that exactly, jumps the apex of turns 3 and 4. 5-point scoring pass, Liberty Bells.
Excellent defense right now being laid down by the Liberty Bells. A lot of players right now on the track up here in the apex. Laura Much finally gets through, and she picks up 4 points.
Heavy flow and Tarantula, some of the great defensive work for the Liberty Bells. Shipley returning to the penalty box for Rose City.
She's questioning why she's there and looking rather dejected about it. And while we sit here talking about that, Wftda threw for another 5-point pass.
Wheels of Justice continue losing blockers to the penalty box. Rodriguez now reporting.
They've got to slow down the scoring of Wheels of Justice, but Philly right now really making a nice run.
Team timeout, Rose City.
And this is another good opportunity for Rose City to gather the troops, rally around the flag, and figure out what they're going to do for the rest of this game. Right now we got a score of 173-114. Philly with the 114. Rose City Rollers right now 173, and the team of Portland up on top. But Philly making a nice run in that last jam with 22 minutes and 27 seconds left on the clock.
Check out the one-day pass on $50 and you can get access
So far in this game, unofficially, Scald Eagles sitting at 106 points. And the other lead scorer for Philadelphia is Seitz. She's got 54. Out there on the track as we stand, Philadelphia is waiting for them. They've got all 4 of their blockers and their jammer out on the track. And as Rose City takes the track, they're down a blocker. Scald Eagle out there on the track for Rose City. Oh, and they want to talk a little bit more, those officials and their wacky chatter.
Head referee Eric Rock coming over and addressing the house announcer, possibly explaining what went on over there in the penalty box. It looked like at the end of that jam, Jessica Shipley for Rose City was sitting in the penalty box. She is no longer in the penalty box now.
But the other Jessica Rodriguez, she's now in that penalty box. So I'm not quite sure if there was the wrong Jessica being called out. It's kind of like Heather's, you know, Jessica, and Jessica. So we call it the Wheels of Justice or the Jessicas. I'm in trouble now. Sorry about that, guys. All right.
Scald Eagle jamming for the Wheels of Justice.
Gaither, last line of defense up front, unable to stop her. And I believe that is Brazilian Nut is out front and in a scoring pass already.
And Brazilian Nut right there went heavy to the outside of turn 1, drew all of the Portland defense, and then danced to the inside, cleared the pack on that 5-point scoring pass.
Sometimes you got to stop and just play defense. Don't go for those big swings. Yeah, they look pretty. Yeah, they feel great when you hit them. But if you miss, that's what happens.
Brazilian Nut forced to call that jam off. She picked up 3 points before having to do so. 50-point difference in this bout, King.
I know. Rose City is not done yet. I mean, they are not out of the woods. They have got to play hard. And in this game, look at that. We are gonna see French tickler Miss Megan Moffitt on the track right now with a star on her helmet. First time jamming tonight, or at least in this game.
She did jam earlier in the bout against Kansas City.
She's been taken out in turn number 1 on that inside, and that's going to look like, I believe, Tarantula is the one who executed that hit.
Clam Jammer gets around Ripley at the front of the pack. Lead Jammer Liberty Bells.
French Tickler turning around backwards, got taken out in turn number 3, but she was well out front, and she has finally breached that pack.
That was Heavy Flow who had knocked down Moffitt at the front of the pack.
Clam Jammer getting docked around inside to out. She does get through. She picks up 2 points.
That is 5 lead jams in a row for the Liberty Bells. 50-point lead now becomes 47.
And there she is, V-Diva, Miss Seitz.
Liberty Bells blockers choosing to line up at the pivot line when V-Diva jamming, at least predominantly in this second half. Lauren Much working against a front wall.
And she was taken out, and they're waving her right on back. Oh, Cylinder Power. She saw him coming back. She put a big hit on him.
Forearm penalty on Vanessa Seitz. She is in the penalty box. Lauren Much working on her initial pass still.
Yeah, they're playing some fantastic defense. And she's your lead jammer.
Wax Poetic got the final hit on Much as she escaped the pack on that initial pass.
Mercy knocking people around on the inside. No pack called. Everybody has to reform. Doesn't matter. Much Mayhem is through for 5 points.
That was fully Adomatic and Gingivitis working over Much Mayhem at the front of the pack.
Nice tight wall. They're pushing. Seitz wants to get through, and she has gotten through that pack.
Mercy picks up a multiplayer block. Rodriguez providing some offense for Much Mayhem.
Much Mayhem calls it off. That's a great call off. His sights had a full head of steam coming into the back of that pack.
Rose now extending their lead to 55.
Rose extending that lead. Instead of 181 now, Philly 126.
Scald Eagle on the jam line opposite Wftda.
18.5 remaining.
Wftda obviously didn't get enough jamming in that last jam. She's ready to go for some more. Well, Scald Eagle says, no, I'm going to play some offense. You
Interesting
right
choice by Philly. They do have a 4-3 blocker advantage. And Scald Eagle going to recycle.
And here's what we do. She's going to burn her all the way back around. And what she's doing is she's burning time off that clock. Oh, I love it. It's like a pack of wolves waiting for them to come around for some little bit of fresh meat to get on that. And what she did was she burned the penalty by Mercy.
You know what? Let's point out the nice no call there in turn 3. Let the jammers duke it out a little bit.
Yeah. You know, this is roller derby. Let's not, let's let them play a little bit.
And speaking of fighting, Wftda fighting her way through that pack. High block. She will report to the penalty box. Power jam, Rose City.
That's almost salt on a wound right there. We were just talking about the no call, and you know, you got to be careful out there, but at the same time, I don't know. I don't know about that call.
Scald Eagle through the pack. Lead jammer going to Rose City.
Lots of hitting going on. Scald Eagle engages that wall. They're trying to keep her nice and slow in that pack.
Scald Eagle forced to the inside, recycled, somehow, well, mostly stayed on her skates there.
Yeah.
Did get through the pack, 5-point scoring pass.
And a blocker for Philly right there, having to take a seat. I believe that's Russian Bayou that picked up that incidental low block.
Scald Eagle clears the pack for another 5 as Wftda out of the penalty box. You see her rolling into the back of the pack there.
Oh, Mercy. Just leveled Wftda. She's gonna...
Mercy did not think she deserved that penalty. However, she is in the penalty box, and
she's gonna be joined with Jessica Shipley.
And it looks like Wftda may have lost a part of her skate there.
Oh, you know, I hope not. I hope that she's got no broken skate.
Yeah, we did have a wheel come off. It is being returned to the Philadelphia bench area.
All right, let's get her back together. I love watching her out there jamming. She's strong, she fights hard. That's what derby's all about.
So we have an official timeout down on the track. Coach Jukebox wanting to make sure that his team got credit for the points they had coming to them. 4 points being called in from the center.
Right now we got Mercy and Jessica Shipley both sitting out there in the penalty box. That's going to leave, looks like, Jessica Rodriguez and Scylla Devour for Rose City having to contend with the blockers from Philadelphia. And Megan Moffitt once again with a star on her helmet.
Looks like Megan Moffitt has drawn Teflon Donna as her opposition on the jam line.
Our Track 1 and scoreboard sponsor is Dairy Mart. So thank you so much to Dairy Mart. Our local neighborhood Dairy Mart stores are family's best for almost 50 years.
Looks like we're going to get play underway. Liberty Bell's going to start with a 3-2 blocker advantage.
Nick, Drew, these guys are functioning like a well-oiled machine, and we really appreciate all our non-skating officials in attendance.
And this jam is on, and the hitting begins. They're just sharing the love.
Moffitt thought she had a window through the center. Teflon Donna trying to go at Scylla Devour. Gets pushed off the inside. Tries to go out against Rodriguez. Does pick up lead jammer, but Scylla recycles.
Oh, what a nice play by Moffitt on the outside. She couldn't get anywhere, but she did not go out of bounds. Well, and now she has.
Russian Bayou, who not only did a great job getting Rodriguez out of the way initially,
Teflon Donna up front, and she is out of the pack as lead jammer. And Rodriguez picks up a penalty, so that's going to be another 2 players in the penalty box for Rose City.
Moffitt trying to fight against the defense, locked down at the front. Teflon Donna fighting against the back, shrugs off a hit from Mercy and clears. That's a 5-point scoring pass, Liberty Bells.
Right now, it's just a game of musical chairs in that penalty box for Rose City, as Shipley back in the box again for another penalty.
Moffitt clears on her initial pass. Teflon Donna gets around Wax Poetic, who'd gone down in turn 4. That's another full scoring pass for the Liberty Bells.
We got a 60-point game right now, 195-135. Rose City on top. The Wheels of Justice are maintaining, but they're not gaining anymore in this lead. We got 15 minutes left in this game, and it's still anyone's game.
Lauren Much jamming for Rose City.
Chance of Wheels of Justice.
Is that Brazilian Nuts?
Yep.
No, it is not. It's Clam Jammer.
Oh, sorry.
Clam Jammer around Chestnut at the front of the pack. Lead Jammer, Liberty Bells.
Lauren Much, she comes in and she collides with Hot Rod Hussey.
Hot Rod Hussey headed to the penalty box.
I don't know about that. Was it a high block? Either way.
Clam Jammer through the pack. 4-point scoring pass. Calls off the jam.
That was a nice play out there by Clam Jammer, picking up those 4 points. Right now, we got 15 minutes left in this game, and what Philadelphia needs to do is get a couple multi-passes scoring. They're picking away at it, but you've got a pretty decent lead by Rose City, and you need to start doing more than just 3 and 4 points at a time. You need to get a chunk, 10, 12, 15.
Vdiva and Scald Eagle jamming for their respective teams. Scald Eagle dancing around Gingivitis to lead jammer.
Well, Vdiva right hot on her tail. And there was a ginormous hole. You could have driven a Buick around through there, and Scald Eagle gracefully glided right on through.
Gingivitis 1 stride too late in getting to that inside line. Almost had her.
Almost doesn't count.
That's true. That on the jam line looks to be Brazilian Nut opposite Lauren Much.
And the problems in the penalty box now have swayed to the Philadelphia side. They've got 2 blockers right now sitting in there. Oh, and Tarantula, a ginormous hit on Much, and she's going to take her back past that pivot line.
Tarantula recycled Much all the way back. Rose City blockers screen out the Philly blockers, getting Much through on that initial pass.
Yep, and that's Brazilian Nut jumping right on through, picking up 4 points. And right now we've got a score of 199 to 143.
Well, King, as we see time winding down on the clock, less than 12.5 minutes to go in this bout, you start to wonder when Philadelphia is going to have to start pushing those jams that they have lead jammer, because that 30 seconds that comes off the clock between every jam not doing them any favors right now.
Well, that's exactly it. If you can pick up, 12 to 15 points in a jam and you hold the other team to 3, hey, that's a win.
Scald Eagle jammer of record for Rose City. Teflon Donna for the Liberty Bells.
But now you got to get out front and you got to hold on to the jammer, whereas Rose City right now has got lead jammer. They're doing a nice work with the hits, but the recycling by Rose City is keeping that jammer in there.
Teflon Donna clear of the pack on her initial pass, but Scald Eagle already working on that scoring pass.
Oh, Scald Eagle just made her own hole. I love it when when jammers will play like blockers.
That was Scald Eagle against Ann Frankenstein. That one goes to Scald Eagle. Scylla Devour currently in the penalty box, and it looks like Rose City going to choose to push this jam.
Burn a little bit of that time, doing exactly what I was talking about. They're going to trust the defense, and they're going to try and hold on to that blocker, or to that jammer with their blockers.
True being assessed a multiplayer block that leaves Liberty Bells with a 4-2 blocker advantage on the track. Excuse me, 4-3 is Scylla out of the penalty box.
But what they've done is now she's gone around on 2 passes and held Teflon Donna in there. She just finally got out and picked up her 4 points. So essentially they're doing exactly what we were just talking about and racking up that score in their favor.
Scald Eagle fighting against the Philly blockers. Teflon Donna fighting against the Rose City blockers in the backfield.
Megan Moffitt on her way to the penalty box, picking up another penalty.
Teflon Donna clears the pack. That's a 4-point scoring pass for the Liberty Bells.
And Scald Eagle passes it on her own pass, picks up another 4 points. She calls it off.
Jamie True out of the penalty box for Rose City. And it looks like Rose City calling for an official review.
Interesting.
Rose City 216, Philly 155. We got just a hair more than 10 minutes left in this bout.
And it looks like in this next jam you're going to see Lauren Much and Wftda.
We'll give a shout out to your favorite skater from here. Shout out to somebody who's having a birthday, your favorite rap, anybody.
So they're out there still assessing what that official review is about. Timeout, I guess, being assessed right now to the wheels of justice.
Yeah, that's going to be quite something else.
This will not be Purple's official review. This is a Purple timeout.
So,
all right, so we get word from head referee Rock that was not an official review. It was a Rose City timeout. That leaves Rose City with 1 timeout, Philly with 2.
and what we're seeing out there right now, Scald Eagle 146 points. And the high score right now, she's on the track for Philly. That's gonna be Sights.
Sights jamming opposite Lauren Much.
She goes around the outside. Oh, yep. Mercy got enough of it. She knocked her out of bounds, and she is being assessed the cut track. Yeah, she's really just not happy at all about that call.
Lauren Much clear of the pack now, not the lead jammer.
Interesting. Yeah, this is going to go full 2 minutes then, if that's the case. Nice offense trying to be played inside.
Now Lauren Much is the lead jammer. What had happened was Sights had been whistled lead jammer and then was given the track cut penalty. But because it was the track cut that allowed her to become lead jammer, that then was negated.
Yep, null and void. Lauren Much, I don't know how she just stayed inside. She was up against the backside of Tarantula and somehow managed to climb around her to get those points.
Mercy headed to the penalty box for Rose City. Sights threw the pack on her initial pass.
Yeah, that hole opened wide open in the middle. They pushed everybody to the outside and gave her a nice little glory path all the way home.
Yeah, that looked like magic almost. It was kind of crazy. She was out of the pack, and I don't know how she did that.
Well, with 8 minutes, 49 seconds left, Rose City Rollers sitting at 220. Oh, they just did that to me. 231. Philly right now sitting at 115.
155.
155. My apologies. Thanks for catching that. Mike Check's quarter was in the way when I was looking at that scoreboard.
It's all my fault.
Yep, I'm going to blame it on him.
We have an official timeout down on the floor. Head referee Rock over addressing the Philly team bench.
Okay, we're in a timeout here. I think it's an official timeout.
And we've got all the referees back in the center that need to be. 8 minutes, 31 seconds left on the period clock. Rose City 231, Philly 155.
Mercy sitting in the box for Rose City. They've got a full blocker contingency out there for Philadelphia.
Clam Jammer wearing the star for the Liberty Bells. Scald Eagle for the Wheels of Justice.
Both jammers engaged the back of that pack. Scald Eagle trying to work that outside, found a hole on the end, and she's your lead jammer.
Gaither, Siller, Devour, and Ripley trying to hold back Clam Jammer. Now it's Gaither versus Clam Jammer up front, one-on-one.
Oh, wow. And, you know, Gaither has just developed into such a fantastic blocker. She's another one of those utility players. She's all the way around. She knows what to do, and she's smart when she's on the track.
Clam Jammer, though, finds an answer to her clears on her initials. Scald Eagle looking to add to her point total. Calls off the jam, but gives up 1 point to Clam Jammer.
And that last jam comes in. We've got an 80-point game with 7 minutes, well, 7.5 minutes left in this game. And you gotta wonder what Philly can do at this point, because really the 10 minutes was kind of the cutoff where they really needed to gear down. So unless their defense picks up, I'm really hoping it does, because they've been fighting hard against this Rose City team.
80 points with under 8 minutes is a tall order.
Yes,
Can't say that we haven't seen it been done before.
No. I'm not saying it's over, but it's starting to get to go time.
Brazilian Nut finds a hole on the inside of the front straightaway. Lead jammer, Philly.
And Lauren Much just picks up a penalty. These are the opportunities you now have to capitalize on. Oh, she had a wide open hole, but could not get through.
Go Seek looking for the low block call, did not get it. In fact, she the recipient of a penalty.
Well, you know, that's where it backfires on you, and that's 5 points being picked up by Brazilian Nut.
Rose City also losing Penny Dreadful. They are down to 2 blockers, no jammer on the track.
I would love them to make me eat my words as another 5 points gets put on the board for Philadelphia.
Yeah, this is how you do it. What a difference those
And just like that, see, they're capitalizing on the penalties, taking advantage of the shortage on the track, and just racking up those points.
Chestnut, some inverse offense, looking to try and free Lauren Much.
And
she gets recycled by Tarantula.
Tarantula all over the place and doing it well.
Another 5 point scoring pass for Brazilian Nut.
Tarantula over there 3 times.
Much still trying to get through.
And
another track cut on Lauren Much. They're going to start this next jam in a power jam. I think they heard me. I think they're mad.
Team timeout, Rose City.
That's what's going to happen. We got to score a 176 to 236. They just cut 20 points off that lead just like that with 5 minutes and 30 seconds left.
Well, now, King, let's talk about this interesting situation for Rose City. That is the 3rd of their 3 timeouts. So with 5 minutes, 33 seconds on the clock, they do still have 1 official review that they can use, but they are out of timeouts.
That means they cannot stop the clock rolling into this game that have the potential to blow up now. The momentum is now shifting back to Philly, and if they can keep that momentum going, well, this is going to be their game.
I could use a little bit more Bon Jovi, but that's okay, it's not my show.
So, do you think that timeout is going to play a key role in this last 5.5 minutes?
I hate to be cliche, but time will tell. Haha. Rose City does have a sizable enough lead now that it is completely possible not having any timeouts will not come back to bite them. That's going to be their hope.
We have seen games, though, turn around in shorter time periods than this.
Mercy escorting Clam Jammer out of turn 1. Clam Jammer recovers through the pack. Lead Jammer Liberty Bells.
That was some great defense, and Clam Jammer just found the hole and made it happen.
Philly going mostly passive on their offense. Back block penalty for Clam Jammer.
In this game, Brazilian Nut's got 61 points, and 82% of the time she is the lead jammer.
Lauren Much now out of the penalty box and on the track for Rose City.
There's that defense. They are locking her in. They've got their eye on her. They know where she is, and she has not gotten out yet. Oh, they did. They had to let her go.
Rose City blockers keeping a goat in the back of the pack. That is gingivitis.
Valiantly is Philly.
Oh, yep. That hole opened wide open, and Lauren Much picks up 5 points on that pass.
Active offense coming from the inside to the out. Lauren Much, though, getting recycled.
Clamjammer comes in hot, comes in fast, and she's still trying to get through. Multiplayer block being called. That's going to be on Megan Moffitt, headed to the penalty box.
4-point scoring pass for Clamjammer. And she's quickly around the track looking for more. Dropped by Shipley between turns 3 and 4.
That's no fun.
4-point scoring pass, Lauren Much.
Cycles her all over the track.
And both jammers engaged in the back of that pack. The bodies are going everywhere as everyone is trying to get their jammer free and get points up on that board.
And Frankenstein, defensive force in the back of the pack for the Liberty Bells.
Shipley out there comes with a big smile on her face. She plays some good defense, but she just loves playing this game.
All right, another shout out here. Who are they? They are Philly!
Sometimes I wonder if I've lost control of what's going on around me.
I know. Things happen around us up here in the booth, and you just got to kind of roll with it.
That is Teflon Donna jamming against Scald Eagle. Scald Eagle pushed to the outside of the far straightaway, being recycled all the way back to the jam line.
Oh, Teflon Donna got taken out. Jessica Chestnut did not run back. She waited for her.
Scald Eagle up, plays a little bit of defense against Teflon Donna, clears the pack, lead jammer Rose City.
And Teflon Donna did get out of the pack right after Scald Eagle. Scald Eagle engages, Teflon Donna creeps around the outside. She did pick up 2 points for her effort.
3 points picked up by the Liberty Bells, though.
Yeah, she had the hidden thumb on me is what I did. So with 2 minutes, 17 seconds, 2:48 for the Wheels of Justice coming out of Rose City, and Philly Roller Girls right now 187.
Wftda jamming once again for Philly.
Nice tight wall. She's still trying to struggle to get through, and she's made it.
Gaither getting some offense from Rodriguez. She clears on her initial pass. Mercy to the penalty box for Rose City.
I believe that's Gaither's first time out there with a star on her helmet in this game. Gaither picked up 4 points by sneaking right inside that inside line. How many times do I gotta say it, Mike Checks? You have got to hold that line.
Yeah. The inside and the outside. Scald Eagle lined up on the jam line. I believe that is Brazilian Nut jamming opposite Scald Eagle.
And Scald Eagle making her work for it just to get by her.
Brazilian Nut going at Shipley. Scylla Devour up to help out, but it's Brazilian Nut lead jammer, Liberty Bells.
That was a great move to get past Scylla Devour. Not everybody can do that, and she did. She made it look like it was easy.
Scald Eagle shrugging off a big hit from Heavy Flow, stays in bounds, now clears the pack on her initial pass.
Multiplayer block being picked up on Shipley. 4 points being picked up by Brazilian Nut.
Now the big question is, was there 30 or was there 29 seconds left in the second half period clock? It doesn't matter, team timeout. Liberty Bells, we will have one more jam.
Well, they've whittled this lead down, and I mean, it's only down to 57 at this point. You got 252 for Rose City, 195. I really like the scoring, though, Philly has done against this Rose City team. Rose City has got a really good defense, as they showed already today, and Philly's making some work out of it.
Well, this has been it has been a knockdown derby bout so far this evening. There have been 45 jams already in this bout.
Wow.
A lot of points being scored. And for what will most likely be our final jam of this bout, Lauren Much lined up against Vanessa Wftda Sights. Lauren Much 91 points so far, Vanessa Sights 54.
Nice low pivot line jam. Lauren Much runs around the outside. Wftda goes on the end. They're both out. Lauren Much is your lead jammer.
Wftda out right behind her. Wftda jumps the apex, 4 points.
And she was ready for takeoff. She picks up the points. Lauren Much says, well, you know what? I'm going to give it to you, but I'm going to call off this jam. I think it's unofficially safe to say that Rose City won this game.
Indeed it is. We will wait to make sure that we have an official final score. Our unofficial final, as you see there on your screen, 252 Rose City, 199 Liberty Bells.
I really like what Liberty Bells showed here today, though. They came out, they played nice, they played great, they put a lot of good defense out there, they threw some great scoring out there on the track, and gave Rose City something to think about going into the rest of this weekend.
The Liberty Bells, not a team to be trifled with. Great showing for both of these teams in this bout.
And I'm really looking forward to see what the Liberty Bells do the rest of this weekend. I think good things are going to come to them.
Well, fans, make sure you stick around here on track 1 in just a little while. The Texas Roller Girls taking on the Ole Rollers.
That'll be a great game.
Yeah. I will be sticking around for that one.
Yeah.
We're still waiting for the official final.
Lots of love down there on the track. Both teams have gotten their hand slaps, and the fans love them. They put on a great bout here.
The Executioners lining up to slap 5 with both teams.
By pitch it.
Hey, can I stop you for a second?
Yeah, please.
Let's redo all that now that the technical difficulties are taken care of and we have audio.
Oh, look at that.
Or we can
Hello and welcome. Oh, wait
lip
for
sync.
it. Wait for it.
It's like Katy Perry.
No, we're good. Go.
Oh, hi. Hello and welcome to the DerbyDees.com event desk here in beautiful Eugene, Oregon at the Big O. We're brought to you by Adam Wheels and the new Adam Wheels Boom Wheels lineup that you can find at your local roller derby skate shop. Joined as usual by Pitch It, we have Teeny Mussolini with us. Welcome.
Thank you.
And we have Just Jake back again. And shortly we're going to be joined by Eric Rock, ref extraordinaire, head ref of the game that we just watched. Let's talk about this game that we just witnessed. This was an amazing game, Rose City versus Philly. Rose City comes away with the win, 252 to 199.
Well, I think this is a Rose City that people have been looking for a while. They have one of the, I've said this for a while, one of the deepest benches in the game. Now we're seeing what happens when that bench goes into play now. Some of the keys to the game, Philly's keys contain Scald. That's always going to be a key to the game when you're going against Rose City. Contain Scald didn't happen as much. She had 153 points at the end of that. 153 points. That needs to, someone's going to have to unlock that code. Stop the bleeding. Don't let him have second chance points. Great job in the second period of doing that, but I think penalties was a factor. First period, they did get a lot of those second, third, fourth pass points. And capitalized on penalties. They did that in the second period. But that's because Rose City gave them the penalties in the second period. Yeah. So we had, Philly got to make that little run at the end there, but it still wasn't quite enough. Rose City Keys, stay on the track. Happened for about 3/4 of the game. And then it didn't, and they can't afford that against every team. If they can't afford that for the rest of the weekend. They need to play the whole time, keeping their skaters on the track. Keep the score pass low for Philly. They were very successful at that until about the end, and they've been putting the O in the right place so they could just rely and sit back and relax on the D and just put their money in D. Their money in D's working out well. They came out with the win.
Hey, Much is a huge force on this team as well. Tell me, you may not have the stats for it. Give me an idea. How much of the points is she responsible for?
She was sitting on. She had a bigger game in the first half. She was sitting on not as many points. It was like the high 60s, 70s, I believe, when we came out of it. Penalties was a big factor for Mudge.
Yeah.
And going forward, she had at least 4, maybe even 5 that she gave up in power jams. So staying on the track, it's going to be opportunity going forward for her, but nonetheless, her power, her speed. We talked about Much earlier, and you were talking about she's growing. She's not plateauing.
No,
She's not plateauing.
Right.
She's been on this track from last year, and there's no signs of her stopping. So as long as she keeps on it, I think right now, I mean, with her power, her speed, her lateral movement is great. She needs to contain herself to stay on the track, and that's going to make her an even bigger force.
Let me ask you this: what would Philly do differently to not have the big spread that they had?
Philly, I think what I liked what Philly did, and I think was an even opportunity, a bigger opportunity, the game's evolving. And I think one of the biggest evolutions, and I think when you're looking at teams like Rose City, like Bay Area, like Gotham, is you have to be very specific with your lineups. You have this jammer going out here, this is all of your blockers.
Yes.
This is your thing. I think that it was Philly's biggest opportunity. They were pretty gangster all the way around, but you need your Scald wall. You need your Bonnie Thunders wall. You know what I mean? You need your, and then you need to balance that against the rest of the game. Okay, so Skull's not out there. How are you going to take advantage of the opportunity? How are you going to get multiple scoring passes? How are you going to get the first pass? How are you going to get lead jammer?
Makes a lot of sense.
I think another key is being able to recognize when you need to flip from defense to offense, because that is a huge thing that Rose City has going for them. Like their switch from offense to defense and vice versa, it's very fluid and it's very dynamic. Like it's working all the time. Whereas like we saw with Kansas City earlier, and we saw a little bit with Philly today, they didn't have that shift as quickly and as fluid as the team that they were playing against in Rose City. Interesting to note, at the half it was 136-82, so about a 54-point lead. So it stayed the same from the half to the final score of 252 to 199.
Despite an increase in penalties.
I think it's penalties at the end of there were 1 penalty off at halftime. It was 17 penalties for Rose, 16 for Philly. At the end of the bout, 44 trips for Rose City, 31 trips. That is 12 more trips, that's 6 more minutes in the box for Rose, and a handful of power jams. It's too big of a spread. That's what made the difference. Philly made great adjustments, but I think that's where most of those, that's where they broke even.
One thing that I saw that really surprised me was Philly got a power jam while Wftda was jamming, and Wftda did nothing. She did nothing. They sat right here in turn 1 for the entire 30-second penalty with her just kind of pushing. And is it fatigue? Is it you're jamming too many times back to back? I don't know what it is, but I was really surprised to see somebody with the power and the speed and the, like, she's a very good jammer.
Because we're in the proximity to the benches that we are, I was able to watch Wftda. She sat out the next 3 jams after that one. She was worn out.
Yeah.
She went up almost every jam against Scald.
Yes.
I think they were matching her. Now, we're talking about matchups. Great, matchup jammers to neutralize jammers, but you still need blockers out there as too.
Defensively match as well.
Yeah, exactly, because Wftda went there matching. That's going to wear you out. Scald's going to wear you out, and that's when you get to the power jam. And also Philly, Independence Dallas, and Liberty Bells weren't taking as much advantage of offense and power jams as they could have. The game's changed. You can't get away with that anymore. You have to capitalize on 30-second power jams, especially against a team like that. And so play offense every time. You have offensive plays. Have 5 or 6 plays in your playbooks, but always be offense.
Aggressive offense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was looking at flat track stats during the game, and the last time that Rose City and Philly met up was in July of 2012. Philly walked away from that game with the win, 259-101. So giant difference from 2 years ago to now.
I believe that was the. I believe that was down in Vegas.
Yeah, it wasn't RollerCon.
And they were missing their entire jammer lineup
Right,
too. Like,
right.
so that had a factor. That had
Right.
a factor.
And a lot's changed. And a lot's changed since then, right? The rules are different now.
Well,
Yeah, for real.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And another interesting thing to note is that after Rose City's win against Kansas City this morning, they jumped on flat track stats up to 5th place.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah, they had a 17.3 point jump on
Wow.
flat track stats. So enormous day for them with both wins against Kansas City. Granted, a missing sort of wounded Kansas City compared to what we have seen in the past.
Yeah.
Now we have scores from our earlier games. Would you like to go through those?
Well, we were still watching 2 games happening on track 2 and on track 3. Track 2 was AZRD versus Old Riki. The final score for that game was 333 for AZRD to 174 for Old Riki. So AZRD did what we expected him to do. Not by the number that I expected him to do it by, but it's okay. Old Riki's stronger than we thought. Track 3, Treasure Valley was still in the midst of playing Sac City. Treasure Valley won that game. Again, close games on track 3, and it's happening now. We'll get to that in a second. Final score for Treasure Valley, 195, Sac City, 161. The game that's happening on track 3 now, Silicon Valley, Pikes Peak, at the halftime, 85-77. I walked out of there just as we came over here. It was still within 20 points.
Yeah.
So again, track 3, something about track 3. Not sure what's going on there.
There's good games over there.
After AZRD and Old Riki, the men took track 2. Lane County Concussion took on Salem. Salem won that game 203-95 for Lane County. So Salem showing up strong. We'll see what they do the rest of the weekend.
We've got a lot of really good roller derby coming up for the rest of the night. We've got on track 3, the men's game, Bridgetown, the Portland team versus Drive-By from LA. Drive-By with that nail biter end, last jam, calling a timeout when they didn't need to, giving Deep Valley an extra jam, getting a jammer penalty, and losing that game by 2 points. So they were up by 8, called that timeout, giving Deep Valley that extra.
They're going to be out for blood. They're going to be out for blood after that.
That's snatching defeat out of the jaws of victory.
Tell you what, that last jam, no timeout.
Right.
That last jam, they're not going to call a timeout. I don't care how many points they need. They ain't calling a timeout.
That's the lesson learned the hard way. Every
Exactly.
team's done it at least once, yeah.
And they're going to be facing off against Bridgetown. I have not seen Bridgetown play yet, so I'm very interested to see how that game goes.
We all are. We have to play them tomorrow. So.
Oh, nice.
They're looking pretty hot, man. They got a pretty deep bench right now.
Good.
And then we've got Texas versus Ole. That's going to happen here in 9 minutes.
I'm so excited.
And the reality is nobody knows what Ole's bringing, right? We have no clue. We don't know where they're at strategically. We don't know where they're at with their rule set practices. They've been playing USARs. Who knows what they're showing up with?
And, like, from what we understand from people who have been down to Ole and who have been to their practices is that they've had folks coming in and helping them with the Wftda, the new rule set. And so I don't have any doubt that they are going to be able to play well, but there's no way that I'd be able to look at flat track stats from last year and be able to tell you what's going on. So we are now finally joined by Eric Rock. Hello, Eric Rock.
Hey, everybody.
And so he was our head ref for the Philly versus Rose City game, and you're the tournament head ref overall for the tournament for the weekend.
That's correct.
How are things going so far?
Everything's going good. Really, really happy with how everything's going. Our hosts are doing great. Hockey Honey, you got something to say?
I love all of you very much. All of you.
We don't decide.
Hi, San Diego.
Hi, Hockey Honey.
So I kind of walked in and you guys were talking about Ole.
Yes.
And as Ole's head referee, I can say that they've been practicing primarily under, or actually exclusively under the Wftda rules, and should be well versed in the new rules, as well as last season they did practice and maybe not played, but practiced primarily under the Wftda rule set as well. So they, as far as those topics that those issues that you were bringing up, I think they should be prepared in that regard.
I actually got to see the London bout that they played, and
last season?
Yeah, last season. So it was the one WFDA bout they played. There was some. You could tell they knew the rules, but the muscle memory wasn't built up there, and they were picking up a lot of penalties that were kind of changed. So I'm sure coming from that, they were going to be really focused on that and building in that muscle memory.
Well, one thing I guarantee is that if you've been working with them with rules, they know the rules. Now, what I can't guarantee is, do they know strategy? Because really, Rock, honestly, they've never been a huge strategy team.
They never needed to be.
Right.
I mean, their execution is more than made up for their need for strategy.
I mean, as somebody who's at a good deal of their practices, I do think they're actually a bigger strategy team than you realize, though their strategy is very different than a lot of other teams' strategy. But also that a lot of times, depending on what players they have on the track, that strategy doesn't come across in their actual gameplay during bouts, which means that a lot of people don't get to see it, unfortunately.
Well, I'm very excited to watch that game because it's our first time seeing Oli play this way, and Texas, you know, as we saw last year at championships, Texas is knocking on the door. Like they're very close to being able to take down Gotham, and I'm interested to see what happens tonight.
I'm guessing it's going to be dynamic. I'm guessing you see two totally different teams that execute at an incredibly high level. Those are my favorite bouts to watch.
Well, I'm going to take a guess and say we're going to know in the first 15 minutes whether Oli can play or not. Right? It'll be decided in 15 minutes.
At the same time, we're going to have Tucson versus Humboldt over on track 2. I think that's also going to be a very good game because, as we saw with Humboldt versus Kokeshi, they are playing very well, and Tucson looked really good this morning.
Yep.
So we have 2 good games, and you got to
I gotta go.
All right, so we have to say goodbye to Jake. Thank you, Just Jake.
Bye, Jake.
And Rock, it's nice to have you back on the show. You've been on the podcast for a while, and so
I made it to the desk.
Yes. So tell us a little bit about how the tournament is running so far. I mean, like we've had a bunch of games today. You're in, like managing all of your referees. How have things been going?
I really enjoy this tournament a lot, and I actually don't have to manage the referees almost at all once the tournament begins. For us with an invitational, these are all individual bouts. The way that I staff the crews are that referees are working constantly in different crews, in different positions, with different people, with different referees. So it's constantly changing for them.
That's cool.
It allows them to have a bunch of different opportunities and to help them prepare for what they're going to do with the rest of their season. So for me, once I've set everything up and the tournament begins, unless a few very specific things happen, I get to really step back and just be a referee.
That's awesome. And how has your refereeing been going today?
I've been really happy. I mean, you guys were just out for the Philly Rose bout.
Yeah.
Any calls you're regretting?
He would never admit to that.
I know.
Never.
I was actually really not only happy with the refereeing in the bout, but with the progression of refereeing in that bout. Just from where a lot of people started to where they finished, I thought was very impressive with the referee crew. There's one ref specifically that I hadn't worked with before and was immediately impressed.
Excellent.
Very happy. And
especially with a pretty penalty-heavy bout. I mean, those stats were significant.
We were pretty busy.
Yeah.
It was a bout that I did have 1 or 2 conversations of, we need to make sure that we remain in control of this bout and make sure we stay on top of things. And it is that we're able to keep gameplay as to where it's supposed to be and not starting to push things like letting out a play get to being more than 20 feet. Allowing for engaging to happen when there's no patch that is warranting a penalty, making sure that teams are reforming and things like that, making sure that we're staying on top of that. So it's really happy with that coverage in that bout.
I mentioned it to you earlier, and I'll mention it to the rest of the universe. Level 5 jam timer, very cool, Rock. Very nice work.
One of the questions that we got from Facebook was about Philly's use of the radio between their coach and their jammer. So is that a question that they have to bring up to the head ref before the game, or how is that handled within the rule set?
It's really not covered in the rule set, which therefore makes it not a problem. Both teams can have that technology equally if they choose to have that. I view it as something that really, as long as it's not affecting anything gameplay related or possibly safety, if that's even feasible,
right,
it's not really my issue. So as far as if it's not interfering with either of those things, I'm not concerned about it whatsoever. One of the coaches did bring it up and make sure we were okay with it. I'm obviously perfectly fine with it.
Sweet. Yeah, because we've talked about that on the podcast, about the level of technology as it going, and it seemed like it was working for them pretty well. So, like, at least it looked like they were able to communicate. So, it looks like we have about 2 minutes before the start of the game over here on track 1, so we need to let this camera get back to doing its job. Stay tuned, we got Texas versus Holy here on track 1. We've got Tucson versus Humboldt on track 2. We got Bridgetown versus Drive-By on track 3. From the DerbyDees.com event desk here at the Big O, sponsored by Adam Wheels, I'm Megatron.
I'm Pitchett.
I'm Teeny Mussolini.
And I'm Eric Rock, and I'm Eric Rock.
Thanks a lot for watching. Stay tuned for this game, it's going to be amazing.